And so then, with photography, I felt like I was more free because no one actually was.
It was doing it for yourself in your own time.
And people were just, encouraging it. And so I was like, yeah, I'll just do photography. And I thought it might be as well easier to make money as a photographer. That was also my thought. Because I was thinking maybe it's easier to be commercial as a photographer than as an artist.
Yeah, absolutely. Photography has a lot of avenues. I mean, you know this already because we met on the set of Inner Devils, fun fact. But you were stills photography there and you were also helping out with the director of photography. So, photography has so many like practical uses.
Definitely. Especially in our society, everybody needs photos, everybody needs imaging.
In the age of Instagram.
Yeah. And now video even more, I think, is becoming even more video something you need to keep up with the video.
And are you getting into videography as well, yeah?
Yes. I have more experience with photography, obviously, but I think now it's a lot of it is going to become video oriented.
People are using, especially now because, again, we go back to Instagram, but TikTok, Instagram Reels short clips that can grab the attention.
So much. I think now it's going to be very essential to work as a creative, I think.
No, it is an interesting and, to me, fascinating thing, and where the demands in the industry and your creativity, your personal preferences sort of meet up, and sometimes, you have to be open. Like you can't be too open and you lose sight of who you are and what you want to do, but you can also be too close and be like, I'm not doing video. I'm a photographer. That's what I do. And you might actually, if you just put your ego aside a little bit, you might actually enjoy it and get into it. So it is, it is kind of cool and also very complicated navigating that. What art do I want to do? What art can I make a living from?
I really don't want to settle on one, even though a lot of professionals say, well, once you actually get really into it, if you want to become really good at something or really famous for something, you need to really have a specific thing that you do and be very so extraordinary at that it's kind of make you more special. But at this stage, I really don't want to settle on one thing because I feel like I'm still learning so much, and I
mean, you just finished university.
Yeah. And I just don't want to say I'm not doing this. Even if they would ask me to do something completely different from what I do, like let's say they would ask me to do sport photography, I would do it. I think
try it.
Yeah.
That's the again, it comes back to sometimes your perception of yourself can be wrong. You can tell yourself I'm gonna hate something, and you do it, and you're like, that was a lot better than I thought it would be.
Definitely, because and so far it has always been like that for me. Whenever I was. I would always start with something. Like at first I was so settled on art and illustration. I wanted to become an illustrator for children's books, and I was so settled on it.
Oh, that's adorable.
It didn't really went this way. Now, with photography, I started working with that, and also at the start I was saying I don't want to do events. At the start I was hating event photography. It was making me really stressed, and now I love doing events, and I've been doing mainly events for money and as paid commissions, and I've been really enjoying it.
Yeah, so, I mean, events, you're literally capturing the highlights of someone's life depending on the event.
Especially more art, like music events and theater, drama, dance.
That can be all kinds of stuff. That can be very, very cool. Well done, you. Well, I mean, this is perfect for you. You just finished uni. You've got all the time to experiment and see what sticks and what you like. And a lot of people, well, I know a lot of people, but me, was afraid of experimenting. I just wanted to stick to one thing because I had this, if you're going to do something, do it properly. And that meant, find the proper way.
Tell you as well, I think, no?
Yeah, it is encouraged. And there's arguments for it, But, you don't want to get too diluted. But I think there's a period when you should be diluted enough so you can actually start putting yourself back together again.
I think especially at the start when you're still, you can still say I am a fashion photographer and I just do fashion photography. You just started and and you really don't know, and it's just sometimes even by doing other things you meet the right person, or you learn the skills, then you can transfer to what you actually want to do. Like, for example, I'm thinking photography-wise, doing events, you learn so much from it. Maybe it's not the most creative, let's say if you really like fine art photography or editorial, was very different. But you really learn to work in a very intense environment, fast-paced. So you learn how to really cope with like even really stressful situation, because you know you're shooting an event and it's so hectic and people want photos all the time. You need to be so quick and you can have so many technical issues all the time. And they happened to me at the start and I would panic. I would want to cry sometimes. But then you learn, you know, you're like, okay, actually, you really learn even how to like kind of like keep your cool in these situations and figure out what you can do. And then you learn not to do these mistakes again. And I think in photography, like, you know, that if you feel relaxed working for this type of environment, then you can really transfer the skills to a lot of other types of photography.
Yeah, no, I mean, yes, some skills.
And other jobs in general.
Yes, some skills are 100% transferable. Like, people think of arts as this very different thing, but it is very much a business and very much trying to make a living. And there's a lot of skills, demands, customers, deadlines, a lot of skills that are universally applicable to other jobs as well.
Yeah, and even event photography, for example, has helped me a lot with my social skills, because you might not be the most social person, or you might be a bit socially awkward, but when you go, you need to like, you know, talk to people a bit. Like, you're not gonna have maybe deep conversations, but be like outgoing, approach them, be smiley. There's gonna be so many people around you all the time, and that can be so difficult for a lot of people, I think. And then like that, actually doing that so much makes you more relaxed. And even in other completely different jobs, let's say even in customer service, like doing event helped me, because then I was much more comfortable around people, talking and just so.
Yeah, learning how to navigate people is a valuable skill to have. I'm still learning. I've been doing hospitality, and I'm at that stage where I'm slowly becoming detached from people, in the sense of like, I'm not taking everything they do or say personally. I'm not invested as much, and it's great. I mean, once you sort of sit back and get to enjoy people for who they are, it's brilliant.
Yeah.